What's happening, everybody? So this video is kind of one of those what if videos. It's actually a topic that was brought up on the live show and was actually one of the comments, I think, in a standalone video. And it basically goes like this. What if Chevrolet would have put the 5.3 liter V8 as an option for the 5th gen and the 6th gen Camaro? Call it an RS to the 6.2 liters SS. Much in the same way that the 3rd gen had the 5 liter and it had the 5.7 liter. And I got to thinking about that because the video was kind of fantailing a 5.7 liter Hemi versus the 6.4 liter Hemi, or at least me saying why I felt like the 5.7 liter corporate V8 in the Challengers and Chargers was actually such a cool package. I'll recap it for you. It runs low 13s in the quarter mile, doesn't break the bank, has some upside for modding if you like to work on your own car or tune it, and it's everywhere. The problem with getting parts doesn't exist. Again, it's a corporate V8. You find them in pickup trucks, more or less. And so the idea was, and it was a great way of lateral thinking, well, would the Camaro still be with us if Chevrolet would have optioned the 5.3 liter and the 6.2 liter? So real quickly, when the 5th generation Camaro was released and when the now, I guess, 2nd gen of the 3rd gen Hemi was being developed, let's say right around that 2010, 2012 range, you had the L99 6.2 liter available in the automatics for the Camaros, and you also had the LS3 being optioned for the manual transmission cars. But when you think about it, that L99 6.2 liter was pretty well neutered by comparison. It was a 400 horsepower engine compared to basically 4.25 horse, which is an important number, by the way, because it matched the 4.25 that was in that 6.1 liter SRT8 Hemi. But more to the point, it was a bit neutered in that 6-speed automatic configuration. Now, in 2015, when the 8-speed was introduced, the 5.7 liter with the 8-speed automatic would end up posting times that were practically identical to the 6-speed automatic L99 Camaro quarter mile numbers. So pretty neat how they were basically kind of chasing each other, albeit with the smaller V8 with Mopar to that neutered LS3 in the L99. But that 5.7 liter Challenger and Charger kept the brand, if you will, alive for Mopar. Could it have done the same for the Camaro? Well, I can probably make an argument that maybe it would. See, a lot of folks don't necessarily, or didn't necessarily back then, want the extra power from the L99 or the LS3. A lot of the Camaro buyers, by the way, looked down on the L99. They didn't like the idea that they were getting a neutered version of the 6.2 liter if they wanted to option an automatic, which started to make Mopar look a lot more attractive, as you could get the then available 6.1 liter with a 5-speed automatic transmission. And that was 25 horsepower more. In essence, it would have been the same as getting that LS3 with an automatic, so to say. So carry that thought process a little bit further and think of it like this. If Chevrolet would have optioned a 5.3 liter for that 5th gen, that car would have appealed to a lot more buyers. You would have had maybe buyers that didn't necessarily want or need the extra power. They were just buying it for the sound, for the V8 rumble and all of that, but they didn't necessarily want or need to bump up to that 6.2 liter. Also, that 5.3 liter being a corporate V8 obviously would have come in at a lot lower price point. The same way that the 5.7 liter Hemi came in at a significant discount over the 6.1 and then later the 6.4. Again, it's one of those things where you could have looked at that 5.3 liter and thought, man, think of a $5,000 less expensive Camaro, well, now it's not as intimidating for a lot of buyers. Keeping in mind that the 6.2 liter SS versus the Coyote Mustang, and I know I'm bouncing around a little bit here, but think of it. The Coyote is not an intimidating engine for less experienced drivers to own, although some videos may make you think that they go crowd hunting. The reality is that they're very easy to drive. They're not extremely torquey. And so from a dead stop, they're actually kind of a bit more docile than the 6.2 liter. And really between the two, the 6.2 liter was quicker, especially talking 5th gen to the older Coyote platform. So you would have had in the 5.3 an engine that gave you all the theater of a V8 in a pony car that was less intimidating for less experienced drivers and would also probably attract the female crowd. The Mustangs YouTube video flashbacks. Mustangs attract female drivers at a significantly higher rate than Camaros did. Probably primarily due to the fact that they're less intimidating to drive, less bottom end torque, just more manageable power. The 5.3 would have offered all of that in a less expensive package that would have been just as upgradable as its 6.2 liter brother. And it wouldn't have suffered the indignity of being a neutered version like the L99 was of another engine, the LS3 in this case. So post up your comments. Let me know what you guys think. The more I thought about this experiment, if you will, would it have really helped? Well, I'm thinking that it kind of would. It would have created parity between the small engine V8, in this case Camaro, and the 5.7 liter Challenger. You would have had the SRT8 going up against the 6.2 liter in all of its guises. The Mustang would have kind of really been the odd man out at this point, with there only being one engine available. And the option list in that respect, basically in terms of which car you're going to buy, gets cut in half. That same parity would have been extended to the 6th gen. Now think of it like this. The 5th gen would have no doubt had probably a 325 horse 5.3 and the 425 horse 6.2 liter. Well, fast forward to 6th gen and the LT variants, you would have had a 355 horsepower version of the 5.3 and the 455 horse version of the LT1. Again, you can see how this would have been a very easy transition. Couple that with the 10-speed automatics, and now you've got significantly quick cars that would not have broken the budget. Now, I know some savvy mathematical types out there are going to say, well, law of marginal utility divided by the square root of... Look, the fact is that, yes, I get it. The 6.2 pricing may have been held a little bit low, but you got to remember that the 6.2 was in the Camaro and in the Corvette, primarily as an all-aluminum block variant. And I know there's other, but you get where I'm going with this. This is an option that would have helped to make the Camaro more affordable for more folks and would have carried over the RS platform that was around back in, well, from the 1st gen, 2nd gen, and 3rd gen, moving into that final generation in the 6th gen. I think it was a huge mistake for Chevrolet not to roll with its corporate 5.3 liter as well as the 6.2 liter. The 6.2 liter was always a premium engine, no matter what it was in. The Cadillac, the Camaro, the Corvette, these were all premium performance vehicles. And from a naturally aspirated point of view, the 6.2 liter offered, it was basically the same performance that the 6.4 liter you would find in the Challengers and Chargers. That's not necessarily a performance level that most people would want to get into. A lot of folks, and this is proven in sales figures, really love the 5.7. I think they would have really loved the 5.3. I think that it would have kept Camaro in the game. I think it would have kept a lot of folks in the Chevrolet camp that ended up moving to Dodge into the Challengers and Chargers, which is, again, obvious by the sales figures, with Camaro falling to dead last in this pony car war that was to be moving, from basically 2009 through 2022, really, with the 5th and 6th gen Camaros. But again, guys, post up your comments. Let me know what you think. A bit of a thought experiment. Would you have been into the market for a 5.3 liter Camaro, a bargain basement entry level RS that you could modify to your heart's content? Man, that sounds like a little bit of sliced fried gold for me. I mean, think about a 5.3 with a supercharger option and all that. You know how well LSs love boost, right? Anyway, we'll see y'all on the next one. Talk to you later. Adios.